am Jaina Bosonko, and this is QTV Midday News coming to you live from our studios along Caraba Avenue. Thanks for joining us. Here are the main national, international and sports news headlines. The Gambia Supreme Court on Tuesday held hearings on the petition filed by the United Democratic Party seeking to invalidate the results of the December 4th presidential election. First Lady Fatoumata Barbaro has attended the third Turkey Africa Summit on Climate Change in Istanbul, hosted by the First Lady of the Republic of Turkey. The Association of Resident Doctors the Gambia on Saturday held a free surgical and medical camp at the Farafenni General Hospital. And in sports news, the climax to the beach volleyball season in the Gambia sees Olymp Africa win gold in the male category, while Gambia Armed Forces secure top spot in the female category. We will also bring you the story of the finals of the Inter-Schools football competition in Jara Soma, organized by the United Purpose through the Techifi project. Those were the main headlines, and now the news in detail. Do stay with us. Thank you for joining us. I am Jaina Bosonko, and this is QTV Midday News. Now, the Gambia Supreme Court on Tuesday held hearings on the petition seeking to invalidate the results of the December 4th presidential election. Tuesday's sitting was to hear an earlier motion to strike out or dismiss the petition brought by the United Democratic Party, whose candidate came second in the election. Mohamed Lamin Choi has the rest of that.
The Supreme Court is sitting in relation to a petition challenging the results of the presidential election. As scheduled in its first sitting, lawyers for President Barrow, the first respondent named in the petition, are to deliver their submission on earlier motion they filed, asking the court to dismiss or strike out the election petition. In this sitting, the Attorney General is named for the first time as the third respondent. Representing the first respondent, Counsel Sirif M. Tambedo told the court that his team had filed another motion on Monday, the 20th of this month. As a result, lawyer Tambedo applies for a motion to consolidate the two motions. The court hears that the motion filed on Monday is similar to the previous one. According to lawyer Tambedo, it is to make things tidier, adding that the difference is that it contains 8 prayers, the legal term for a request made to a court, and is more detailed than the one filed last Tuesday. However, Bori S. Toure, the counsel for the UDP, the applicant, opposes this request and asks the court to dismiss the motion to consolidate, arguing that he was served with that motion today and that the court should proceed as planned to hear the earlier motion. This is contrary to the wish of the respondent's lawyers, who wanted the court to first hear the motion to consolidate. The court finally dismisses the motion to consolidate to present a more detailed one. Again, lawyer Toure objects, arguing that the motion for withdrawal is a tactic by the respondent to tie the hands of the court, and asks for its dismissal. After listening to both sides of the argument, Justice Hassan B. Jallo announces the court's ruling, which grants the application for withdrawal and awards the petitioners $10,000 its cost. The second motion is set for hearing on Friday, 24th December at 9:30, and Tuesday, the 28th of December, is scheduled for the hearing on the merits of the petition. Mohamed Lamin Choi, QTV News.
Now, on the margins of the third Turkey Africa Summit in Istanbul, Turkey's First Lady hosted African First Ladies, including First Lady Fatoumata Barbaro of the Gambia, at a session on one of the biggest global problems, climate change. Alusisa again.
The theme of the conference, Hand in Hand for Our Planet, Fostering African Voices in the Climate Conversation, and the discussions correlated the issue of the climate crisis and to women. Climate change is a humanitarian crisis which poses women and children at high risk stemming from natural disaster that result in economic, social, cultural, developmental, and human losses. The discussions centered on the role of women amid the climate crisis, as the adverse effects of the climate crisis are mostly felt by the vulnerable, but also highlighted the fact that women are the most powerful source to fight against the climate crisis. First Lady Fatoumata Barbaro describes climate change as a global concern that requires concerted efforts to address it. As a champion of the ban on plastic bag usage in West Africa, Madam Barbaro said the Gambia and Turkey can partner in promoting recycling of waste.
Climate change is affecting everyone, not Africa alone, not Turkey alone. It's the whole world that is affected with climate change. We should collaborate with we, the women, the first ladies, as far as the first lady of Turkey is experienced, we will use her to learn from her and know exactly where she is, because you don't do things that you don't know about. She already knows where she come from and where she is now, and she knows where to go to tomorrow. That's the reason we're here. So we will learn from her. We can also take it back to our respective countries and do exactly what she's doing.
The burden of emissions is felt throughout Africa, and yet the African continent produces only about 4% of the world's emissions. The climate crisis has led to the displacement of Africans and endless suffering. The Turkish First Lady used the opportunity to urge African First Ladies to join the climate conversation and to take up the issue of climate change in their respective countries, with reference to her Zero Waste initiative for the mutual benefit of future generations. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cisse.
Aliou Cisse there on the Turkey Africa Summit hosted by Turkey's First Lady in collaboration with other First Ladies. Now, the Association of Resident Doctors, the Gambia, on Saturday held a free surgical and medical camp at Farafenni General Hospital as part of providing quality and accessible healthcare to the needy in rural communities. Don Williams has the rest of that.
The association consists of a group of medical surgeons, anesthesians, physicians, dentists, laboratory technicians, pharmacists, and other support staff whose aim is to bring essential health service to targeted communities. They conducted surgeries, medical and dental consultations, health education and sensitization, among other activities. Dr. Abdullah Ba, Senior Resident, Departments of Surgery and the PRO of GARD, explains about the team and the surgical camp.
This is the 6th Executive Council of GARD. We came with a very big team, which includes doctors of various specialties, from physicians to cardiologists to surgeons to anesthetics, and gynecologists are all with us here, and they are all members of GARD to serve rural Gambia.
Dr. Alaji Mane, a surgeon, expresses delight in serving rural communities.
We realize that it's difficult for many patients from the provinces to have access to surgery. This is an initiative by good, willing doctors of the country to participate in rendering surgical services free of charge to patients in any hospital in this country where there is a functional theatre.
Abdullah Sedi, a senior operating nurse, appealed to other nurses to volunteer and render services to communities.
Urging all Gambians, perioperative nurses, to be volunteers to contribute in the national development of this country, because this is the only thing that we can do for our own people, like going out to meet them and help them during their difficulties.
Dr. Musa Marina, the president of GARD, had this to say.
This is the first time GARD has embarked on outreach program into the hinterlands. We've been doing it in the past in the greater Banjul area, and we feel that the people in the hinterland also need our services, so we have to give back to the population. We will take this opportunity to thank everybody who has contributed to the success of this outreach program. This includes the members of the association. We also take this opportunity to thank our host, the Farafenni General Hospital. They have done a lot for us. They have allowed us to use their theater, their facilities, as well as some of their resources.
Mohamed Ka, a beneficiary of the program, was happy to be part of those treated.
People are very stand for help us, whether men, women, old and young. So without paying nothing, apart from ticket 25, whether you are citizen or foreigner, so they are stand by to help us people for operating. So we are really thank God and happy for you people.
125 medical patients were seen, including 16 emergencies, 40 gynecology patients reviewed, and 26 of them were operated. The event was sponsored by the Ministry of Health, Jar Oil Company, and We Care Foundation. Don Williams reporting for QTV News.
Don Williams there. Now, Al-Bassam International, a non-governmental and non-profit organization registered in Geneva on 15 December, signed a Memorandum of Understanding on cooperation for medical care with the Fatoumata Barbaro Foundation, a non-profit organization as well, engaged in voluntary humanitarian action in the Gambia. Aliou Cisse again.
The purpose of this MOU, signed in Geneva, Switzerland, was to formalize and enhance the existing cooperation between the two organizations to support humanitarian action, in particular in medical surgery and different specialties of healthcare. The event was graced by the Saudi Arabia and African ambassadors and permanent representatives to the United Nations from more than 15 countries. The areas of cooperation include development and strengthening of pediatric capacities, structures and training from hospital to public healthcare and community support. First Lady Fatoumata Barbaro welcomes the signing of the MOU, which is a major step towards improving the country's health sector.
In October, we invited them to the Gambia. They were able to touch the lives of 400 people in the Gambia, elderly, young, and babies. That shows that collaboration is very important. If you cannot, you call for people that can, they will help.
Just like the First Lady, attendees including Mohamed Emoka, the Gambia's new permanent representative to the United Nations office at Geneva, commended the two organizations for forging a strong partnership over the years. In October, a group of 28 Saudi medical doctors were in the Gambia on a week-long free medical intervention. Through a partnership of the First Lady Fatoumata Barbaro Foundation, Al-Bassam International Organization, and the King Salman Humanitarian Aid and Relief Center in Saudi Arabia. The FAB Foundation was established in 2017 to address the health needs of the vulnerable, support poor communities, disadvantaged women and youth to enable them to live a better life. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cisse.
From that story by Aliou Cisse, we will now go for a short commercial break. And when we come back, we still have some more local news stories, international and sports. Do stay tuned.
I am the light goddess. Everything I touch turns into light. I am the light at the end of the tunnel, and my technology is the answer. I am the happiness in your life. I keep you connected, and I am Q-Power. I am Q-Cell. I am Senior Boss. We innovate, others follow. Call 111 for more information.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. If you're just tuning in, this is QTV Midday News, and I am Jenna Bosonko. Now, a fire outbreak ravaged 4 apartments in Latrikunda Yiringanya on Saturday. The exact cause of the fire is unknown, but victims have lost all their belongings. More in this report by Ajibin Tudrame.
These victims have lost everything. Their furniture, clothes, important documents, food items, amongst other valuables perished. They rented and occupied these apartments with their families. Musa A. Tarawale is one of the victims. Due to the strong Hamatan winds, he says the fire was hard to contain. However, he thanked his neighbors for their help.
But when I came, it was too late. The fire consumed everything. By the time the fire people came, no items were left. 3 fire vehicles came. 1 couldn't quench the fire, and 2 later arrived. But when we summarized, because we got a lot of stories, that this happened, this was the thing that took place. But when we summarized, we learned it was an electrical failure from the cables up the roof. So that is our summary as a group. So when I came, I met my wife, was so lucky, she removed all the kids. No casualties, nobody was burnt. Only properties were lost. So it was a very, very dire situation, especially for me as a teacher, because all what we've lost, like my certificate, I couldn't retrieve them. All my books as a teacher, all my things, my kids' uniform, learning materials, my wife's properties, all were burned down, plus the cash we kept so as to manage our lives as a family. And as a poor teacher, I will not be in position to retrieve all this, to get them now, with my small salary I'm receiving every month.
Mr. Tarawale stated further that his wife and children now sleep at his in-laws' house. While he sleeps rough, he calls for help. Fatu Sane, another victim, tells us her story.
We are
given an apartment near Qsel, where my family is staying. We are 9 in number. The fire really surprised us. We are pleading for help from anyone because we have lost everything. Fire outbreaks are becoming prevalent, especially during this Harmattan season, when strong dusty winds from the Sahara blow towards the Atlantic Ocean. In recent years, this season has recorded many fires, made worse by the strong winds. For these victims, all they want is food, shelter and clothing. To assist these victims, you can contact QTV News on 3333245 or email news@qtv.gm. Ajibintu Drame, QTV News.
Very unfortunate situation there. Now on to sports news. There was an epic beach volleyball final to climax the volleyball season in the Gambia, with Olymp Africa winning gold in the male category, while CAF secured top spot in the female category. Momodu Gajaga attended the final at Palmarima Beach on Sunday, and he fastened this report.
A spectacular finale with all to play for in various categories. Gambia Armed Forces took on Olymp Africa, winners in the indoor court. After a fiercely contested 2 sets, the boys from Serekunda, Olymp Africa, won both games in a close affair. Winning his first beach volleyball accolade was an unbelievable moment for Olymp Africa's Modungam.
Feeling so amazing right now. Yeah, it's something that we've been working for, and alhamdulillah, I never won a beach volleyball trophy, so this being my first chance, and thank God, alhamdulillah. Volleyball is just volleyball. That's what I believe. Doesn't matter whether it's in the beach or it's in the indoor. So I just think it's just volleyball, 3 touches, the same concept, the same ideology. So that's why I go for I go for them. Yeah.
In the women's final, Armed Forces were crowned champions without touching the ball. Their opponents, Police, had only one player available, Fatoumata Cisse, as her partner Senabu Tambedu failed to turn up because she was bereaved, as news emerged of her stepmother's passing. GAF Women Reserves went on to claim the 3rd place after coming from 1 set down to defeat rivals Serekunda East 2-1. The 3rd place match in the male category featured Serekunda East and Gamtel, with former professional player Amu Jaju leading the telecom team. After a closely fought set, Serekunda East won and Gamtel replied in the 2nd set with a win, meaning a golden set was required to separate the 2 teams. Serekunda East eventually won 2-1 in the tiebreaker. Played at the beach on Sunday, there was no shortage of spectators, and the fans made for a memorable finale with dancing and drumming. Momodu Gajaga, QTV News.
Still on sports, United proposed through the Tekefi project organize a school's football knockout competition among their sponsored schools. The final took place at the Soma Mini Stadium over the weekend. Our regional correspondent Bakar Baji has more.
The final brought together 4 schools from the provincial regions. After a keenly fought competition involving 25 schools, Tahir Senior Secondary School of LRR and Bakarar Senior Secondary School of NBR made it to the final in the female category. Kian Karantawa Senior Secondary School of LRR and Nyako Senior Secondary School of URR equally faced off it in male category. In the match between Tahir and Bakalar girls, Tahir's Fadiwa scored a wonderful goal in the 19th minute. Bakalar tried to play more defensively to avoid a heavy defeat. However, Fadiwa scored a second goal 21 minutes into the second half, and Nyema Samuel ended the scoring when she converted a penalty in the 36th minute of the second half, giving Tahir girls a 3-0 victory. Both head coaches, Tijan Lum of Bakalar and Baukar Ba of Tahir, were satisfied with the outcome of the game.
Well, it was too bad. It was not a good feeling anyway, because we are here to win. But anyway, football is win and lose. So we accepted that we have lost today against Tahir.
I feel very much excited because, I faced a lot of challenges though. From the beginning up to the ending, I faced a lot of challenges though. From most especially from the referees, I faced so many challenges from them.
In the male category, the game between Kiang Karantaba and Nyakoi Senior Secondary School ended goalless in the first half. After a tough series of counter-attacking football between the two sides, Ibrahim Jawara of Nyakoi scored an amazing goal in the 56th minute to give Nyakoi the lead in what proved to be the game's only goal. Mohamed Janko, the head coach of Nyakoi Senior Secondary School, and Amoro Maron, the head coach of Kiang Karantaba Senior Secondary School, gave us their views afterwards.
It's all about dedication and then training. Well, first of all, I think the motivation was already given by Tekifi and then the united purpose. We have all it takes to achieve up to this place or this stage.
Well, I would say it is hard luck for the boys. And as you can see, they play very well. We have a very good team that that can compete in any competition. Yeah, so I'm saying hard luck to to the boys.
Mohamed Sedikan, the coordinator, and Lamin Manjang, the program manager at United Purpose, explained the objectives behind the initiative.
Basically, this is a co-mandate for United Purpose through IMVF to support schools in order to enhance the sports and then football development of school-going children of the Gambia.
According to when it comes to selection of the schools, it depends on the project proposal writing. So on the project proposal writing, that's where the selection of schools normally came into play, and then give opportunities to other people who are being marginalized, for example, in the regional areas. I would like to thank European Union because without their support, this United Purpose Tekefi wouldn't be functioning.
The United Purpose Tekefi project supports 25 schools across the provincial regions to improve men and women's participation in sport. Tahir girls and Nyakoi boys were awarded gold medals with giant trophies for being the champions, while Bakalar girls and Kiang Karantaba boys go home with silver medals and runner-up trophies. Reporting for QTV Sports, I am Bakari Balde.
From that story by Bakari Baji, let's now take a look at our main headlines. The Gambia Supreme Court on Tuesday held hearings on the petition filed by the United Democratic Party seeking to invalidate the results of the December 4th presidential election. First Lady Fatoumata Barrow has attended the 3rd Turkey Africa Summit on Climate Change in Istanbul, hosted by Turkey's First Lady. The Association of Resident Doctors the Gambia on Saturday held a free surgical and medical camp at Farafenni General Hospital. And in sports news, the climax to the volleyball season in the Gambia saw Africa win gold in the male category, while Gambia Armed Forces secured top spot in the female category. And in the United Purpose Tekefi Inter-Schools tournament in Soma, Tahir girls and Nyakoi boys were crowned champions, while Bakaral girls and Kiang Karantaba were runners-up. Well, that is all we have for you in this edition of QTV Midday News. Join us at 8 p.m. for more news. Have a nice day.